She's appeared on this show a number of times, talking very openly about her mental health struggles. But today, as part of our Loose Women Love Week, Frankie Bridge has brought along her husband, Wayne, who she credits with having helped her through some of her darkest days. And here to tell us all about it, please welcome Frankie and Wayne.
Yeah. I matched you at the NTAs as well. It's a sign, guys.
It is. You're very comfortable amongst the loose ladies, aren't you? How are you both doing now? And I mean, Frankie, things are going incredibly well with your new book. I just saw it on your Instagram yesterday. It's in the Sunday Times bestseller.
I know.
So there's clearly an appetite and indeed an audience for what you have to say and about your mental health struggles, and you've had such a great response.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Obviously, I wrote the book and I had no idea what response it was going to get, and it's been quite overwhelming, really. And I'm going around on the book tour and I'm meeting people, and the nicest thing anyone said is that they felt like they'd written it, which is such a compliment for me, and it means a lot.
But it took a lot out of you writing it, and I don't think you thought it maybe would, but having to revisit some of your hospital notes and various episodes in your life, it was more stressful, I think, than you maybe had anticipated. And that, I guess, is when you come into play in many respects, because you are there. You are the support network, I think that's a fair enough assumption.
Yeah, I guess so. We support each other, though.
Yeah.
I have my ups and downs as well. I haven't actually read the book yet.
No,
She said it's all complimentary, so she's definitely hid a little bit back.
What page have you got to now?
I think I've read the first 20, I think. That's not bad for me. I've never read a book before.
Oh, really? Yeah. As the 20 pages you have read, how did it feel reading about Frankie's kind of inner struggle?
Probably a little bit upset, just because of, I've already lived. We lived where we lived through it. We're living through it, so. I hold a lot of my emotions in.
Yes.
So if I then start reading it, it just brings stuff up, so it starts to come out. But it's always good to let it out.
Wayne, sorry. So I was going to say, how did you deal with Frankie? Because obviously, you said you've never really had mental health issues. So then when you meet somebody who can't get out of bed, I mean, what's the impact on you?
I didn't really know about it really in the beginning. It was just one particular day.
Did you just think, oh, just come out of bed, what are you doing?
Just one particular day, I said, I can't remember, what was it? We
No,
had a row in a car.
Yeah, there was quite a build-up, but you'd bought me the wrong yoghurt, and then...
Yeah, that was it. And then,
it tipped me over the edge.
and, she was in a band, so there was times I knew that she found it hard. Yeah. But I just thought, you need help? One day I said, you need help? So we just called GP.
I mean, that's the thing about mental health issues, I think, because, we are all talking about it a lot more, and that's a really good thing. And the focus is very much on the person that's suffering from the mental health issue. But it's really tough to live with as well, isn't it? I mean, do you sort of feel for Wayne in terms of what he's gone through with you?
Yeah, all the time. Like for Wayne, I often feel, obviously I love him, he's my husband, and sometimes I just think his life would have been easier and would have been nicer if he'd have met someone that didn't have mental health problems. And
Vice versa, though, I'm not perfect, believe me.
No, he's not, no. I keep reminding people of that. On the book tour, I feel like he's not perfect, by the way. But no, he has been amazing. It was a massive learning curve for you, really. Like, you lost a lot of weight around that time, and
Yeah, because you kind of want to help, but I couldn't really... Couldn't really help. I never had the answers, and it was something that she had to go and do on her own. So that was kind of hard, because then you feel like you're not wanted.
Did it
and
take
you don't
a while?
know where you'll stand.
Did it take a while for you to realise it wasn't actually anything you had done? It's just something that comes out of the blue.
Oh yeah, definitely. I ended up going to speak to Mike, who is your psychologist.
Yeah, psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist. So I went to see him a couple of times. That definitely helped. It does help to understand.
I was just reading as well that, obviously you don't play football anymore to that kind of level. And you said that, when you did the SAS, you found that quite difficult because once you're a footballer, that's your whole life. And then you come out, and then who am I? Have you been through that kind of journey yourself?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
I also suffered a lot with self-confidence in football, and that came out on the SAS show. So I think I've learned a lot from Frank, and I've also learned a lot going on that show. That's probably taught me to be more open with Frankie and talk more. And
Brilliant.
I'd say that's only really happened over the last good year or so, I'd say. Even we've been together over 10 years now, and I'd say only really the last couple of years we've got good at communicating better, and I think that comes with you finding your confidence on SAS and me finding my confidence in what I need to ask him for, and it's taken us a really long time.
The right yoghurt.
The right yoghurt,
I don't buy it anymore.
Isn't it true, though, that in football, footballers never discussed their emotions? It was seen as a sign of weakness, wasn't it? But that is changing.
100%, yeah. Obviously, I'm not around the clubs at the moment, but I know there's a lot going on trying to get them to speak more, and they should do. You know, be it with someone professionally or just being more open with their other halves, like I've started to with Frank. It's just, you know, once you get it out, you do feel so much better. I didn't realise just talking to someone can make you feel that much better.
What about your kids? Are you both kind of now hyper aware of trying to notice anything in your children? And
yeah, they're 4 and 6, and before we had the kids, I was always like, oh, I hope they have your brain more than my brain. You know, I'd hate to think that they'd have mental health problems, but I'd like to think I'd be more aware of it, but like still I don't really know how to deal with that with a 4 and a 6-year-old. But then I also definitely do feel like our eldest, I notice he does really overthink things and really worry about things, and sometimes it's hard for me to tell, is that just a kid thing or is that mental? I'm not sure.
You're worrying sometimes when there's maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Because he tries so hard in everything he does, and he gets upset when he can't do it, Parker.
But it's a bit, I think a lot of that comes from us. We're both quite perfectionist, you know, we've come from our jobs where we've had to, you know, you work really hard, but you have to really put your mind to it. And I think maybe that's a bit of that as well.
I know you're both very much behind our campaign here, which is Stand By Your Men. And you talk about the football thing there as well, actually. And I do get that it's definitely infiltrating that men's world, if you want to call it that, within football. And I suppose it's just very, very important that we all are capable of speaking up, particularly our men. Like, you must feel like that.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time to crack him. Even when we first met, I remember there was a particular day where it was like the first time you kind of opened up to me, and it was really hard to get through that with him. And I definitely think that comes from men in general, and obviously in sport I think it's so much harder. They just don't seem to have that kind of relationship. But I feel like now we've opened those floodgates, like on The Jungle and on SAS. I think he cried more than anyone else. So, and people appreciated that. So many people comment on it.
But you were so fantastic on that. Oh my gosh, honestly. It really was, and it was extraordinary watch. But there's one point I remember that you were also blindfolded and you had to try and just sit on a floor with screaming babies, I think it was, and I thought to myself, I could probably sleep through that.
I dozed off, but they don't let you sleep, so they'll be kicking you on the floor.
It's just
I did
hideous.
cry under the hood for a little bit, I admit that.
5 hours.
I've got to cry for 5 hours.
It makes you human, absolutely the way it should be. Well, like we say, the book is done extraordinarily well, Frank. It's a real sign of it sort of touching a lot of people's lives, clearly. And it's always lovely to see you both together, actually. Yeah.